our guest speaker session. Our first guest speaker, Dr. Mohammed Safdar Bahati, is an IELTS expert with 29 years IELTS and TOEFL teaching and training experience. He is a linguist by profession, teacher, trainer, researcher, and international keynote and plenary speaker. He has published 80 research papers in numerous international peer-reviewed research journals, authored 4 books, and has supervised extensively. He has conducted and attended scores of ELT workshops and seminars within the country. He has been awarded honorary doctorate in ELT and applied linguistics by an American university due to his remarkable services in the field of ELT. He is a recipient of multiple national and international awards and gold medals in recognition of his outstanding academic achievements. Currently, he is teaching in the Islamia University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. We welcome Professor Dr. Mohammed Safdar Bahati. Professor, your mic is muted.
Thank you very much, sir, for introducing me so nicely. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yeah, we can see your presentation, Professor.
Okay, sir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to everyone. This is Dr. Mohammed Safdar Bahati from the Islamic University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. First of all, I would like to thank the ORP organization for inviting me as a guest speaker in their multiple conferences. Really, sir, you are working a lot, and may Allah bless you with more successes. And the topic of my today keynote talk is Impact of Literature on ESL Learners, a Survey. And that is a brief sketch of my talk. Respected audience, language is a means of conveying ideas, facts, figures, particulars, solitudes, compassion, and love from one individual to another. Although it is roughly calculated that bisection of spheres inhabitant is multilingual, the accession of additional languages has been associated with cognitive benefits in all respects of lifespan. These days, English language is contemplated as an indispensable as it is frequently manipulated throughout the sphere as a measure of communication. A good grasp of English to higher standard andragogy is to gain better professional slots and a well-respected status in society. Teachers are perhaps the most critical components of any system of education. How well they teach depends on motivation, qualification, experience, training, aptitude, and the environment. The stimulus for the present study derives from the view that the teaching of language should be taught by using literary pieces and should move away from the teacher-centered approach towards a student-centered one. Traditionally, literature is defined as the best writing produced in a given language or society, which is considered as a literary canon for all times. This normally includes classical writers belonging to the past and often excludes contemporary writing. However, in the postmodern deconstructionist age, the definition of literature took on a new shape to include texts such as advertising copy, graffiti, and public notices, which use literary devices like parallelism, rhyme, rhythm, and metaphor. It is a resource of news and it gives rise to communication and bridges two languages strongly. If we talk about the importance of literature, literature expands language awareness, asking learners to examine sophisticated or non-standard examples of language marks makes them more aware of the norms of language use. Having students read literature aloud contributes to developing speaking as well as listening ability. Moreover, it also leads to improving pronunciation. Pronunciation may be the focus before, during, and after reading. Needless to say, literature-based dramatic activities are valuable for ESL learners as it educates the whole person. It helps language teachers to foster their own cultural, linguistic, and interpretive skills. It involves students to overcome negative attitude towards the target culture. It introduces variety into the language classroom. Literary works help the learners to use their imagination, enhance their empathy for others, and lead them to develop their own creativity. They also give students the chance to learn about literary devices that occurs in other genres, like advertising. Literary texts offer a rich source of linguistic input and can help learners to practice the four language skills: speaking, listening, reading, and writing, in addition to exemplifying grammatical structures and presenting new vocabulary. The purpose of literature is to give pleasure to the reader. As most English language literature is written for native speakers, it prepares learners for the types of language they will have to read and understand in the real world. It encourages students to communicate with others by sharing their thoughts and feelings about the story. Now, I would like to move towards the impact of literature. Dear all, a good education is one education which gives us a strong academic base, self-confidence, a keen sense of responsibility, a polished attitude and behavior, and encouragement to think freely and challenge advisedly. Most educators in Pakistan believe that literature can help to develop all these faculties in a student in addition to developing their overall language competence. These are some uses of literature: cogitation, reasoning, and creative thinking. These are some effective strategies to teach literature. Language-based approach is based on paraphrastic approach, which is further divided into personal response approach and moral philosophical approach. And the next one is information-based approach, which is based on the stylistic approach. If we talk about the significance of the study, this study has great significance for the teachers of literature to enhance the teaching competency through activity-based teaching of second language. It will also make the students' participation active and create the interest of the students. This study will make both teachers and students active to learn the target language. The objectives of my study were to investigate the worth of literature-based activities, to enhance learners' competency in learning second language with ease, to examine the teacher's position and students' position as participants in ESL classes, to estimate whether ESL learners are given active roles by the teachers or not, to examine whether teachers are trained or holding literature-based activities in ESL classrooms for learning outcomes of the language. My research questions were: why do the teachers not evaluate their students on literature-based activities? What do the students not get competency in second language? How will literature be effective to get competency in target language? And how can second language proficiency be attained through literature teaching? Now, I would like to move towards the literature review. Holland, referring specifically the teaching of English as a second language in South Africa, argues for the inclusion of literature on psychological and linguistic grounds. Povey is also an advocate, although he argues that the literature should be taught for its own sake, with its use as a resource for language exercises and cultural knowledge a byproduct only. If we talk about the research methodology, it was survey-based research and the approach was quantitative and random sampling was done. 50 teachers and 100 students from the Islamic University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan participated in this study. A questionnaire for the teacher and a separate questionnaire for the students were used as a tool to collect the data from the respondents. And these are some factors which are deduced from the collected data. Reading habits, 80% teachers agreed. Understanding, 70% agreed. Confidence increased, 90% agreed. And drawing meanings, 30% agreed. And that is the graphic description of my talk. Now, I would like to sum up my talk by saying literature learning environment is most effective for learning English for all aspects of the language. Literature has showed positive results for the enhancements of reading skills of ESL learners at university level. Time may be increased for reading literary text. The students should be encouraged to participate in reading activities. Medium of instruction should be in English so that they may practice the reading skills in their everyday life situation. Parents and teachers' role towards the use of literature is significant. Reading training courses may be arranged for improving reading habits of the student. There ought to be sufficient daily time to quick and reading resident. These were some references from which I got the help, and thanks for joining me. And that's all from my side. If you are having any question, you are most welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor, for your presentation. Is there any questions or any contributions? Okay, I think there is no questions for now, Professor. Thank you again. Thank you so much for your participation.
Okay, sir. So nice of you. Really, I am grateful to you. Thank you, sir.
Of course, thank you. It was an honor, sir.